powerful earthquake in southern Japan. Emergency management now reporting a 7.1 magnitude rattler. It's part of tsunami advisory, which has been lifted. The quake striking the same region that suffered a 6.4 yesterday. That area feeling aftershocks now. Several deaths have been reported in this, and there is a baby who was lucky to be rescued from the rubble as well. And it's just an awful scene.
You know, interesting. Generally, when you see an earthquake follow a day or two afterwards, it's an aftershock, and usually they're smaller. So it is a little bit not as common to get a stronger earthquake one day later. This is the area, the southernmost island here, or bigger, more significant island here in Japan right there. But this last one happening within the last hour. And to put this into context, this is at least 16 times stronger than the earthquake that they saw yesterday that ended up being responsible for the 19 lives and all of the damage that was done there. So think about the buildings that were weakened from yesterday's earthquake, and now you have those weakened structures now getting a much stronger earthquake today. Certainly very rough conditions going on, and a lot of scary times right here. You mentioned a tsunami. Generally, for a tsunami, you need to have an earthquake over the open ocean. The center of this one over the land here, so tsunami not a biggest concern. And you remember the big tsunami a number of years ago was up here in the northern part of Japan, and it was over a 9 strength, a 9.0 earthquake. So not as strong of one, but certainly when you see what happened yesterday and then you get another one here just a day later, Greg, the next couple of hours are going to be very dangerous.
And this is the scene in the NHK newsroom in Kumamoto. At the time of the jolt, desktop computers began shaking and books fell from shelves.
It has been called, the other quakes have been called a fall shock, that this was the big one. Tell us, you felt it in Tokyo?
The building shook. It wasn't a violent shaking, but it was a very slow side-to-side movement, which continued for about 1 or 2 minutes, and a lot of cracking of the walls and the fixtures as they moved around. And you know, Tokyo is 900 kilometers away from Kumamoto, so you know, it's quite surprising that we could feel the quake from here. But you know, I was in Tokyo in March 2011 when the magnitude 9 quake struck. That was a much more violent and a much longer shaking than this 7.1 or 7.0 intensity quake.
And you also said that there was an earthquake warning. Tell us about what media said.
Well, there's basically a warning alert that's broadcast on all the TV channels, and a certain melody which is also broadcast on people's mobile phones, which gives people some advanced warning. It seems to be about 2 or 3 minutes warning here, but obviously the quake would have taken more time to be felt in Tokyo than directly at the epicenter. So, you know, it did come in time in Tokyo for, you know, people to get under a doorway or get under a table. I think in Kumamoto they probably wouldn't have less than 30 seconds warning. Certainly a big surprise to the area, suffering as it is from the quakes and aftershocks that have been hitting since Thursday.
And tell us about the nuclear power plants in the area of Kyushu Island.
I haven't got any more information on any effects of the quake, but they had been operating normally. The Sendai the Sendai nuclear plant has 2 reactors, which are the only 2 that are operational in Japan. They continued after the quake on Thursday and after the aftershocks with no adverse effects.
A major magnitude 7.8 earthquake rocks Ecuador's coastal region. Quake has been felt as far away as the capital, Quito. The government says the quake has caused, quote, considerable damage.
Developing news, we want to get back to the earthquake that happened in Ecuador and the tsunami warning. This is a picture from a grocery store inside the nation of Ecuador. We're told that the people could feel the earthquake for roughly 40 seconds. It was a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake. It was off of Ecuador's central coast, cracking buildings, rattling homes as far away as the capital of Ecuador. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they happen here and online.